Hi everybody, it's Marty Millner talking to you about real estate in beautiful Yardley in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Today I want to talk to you about a subject that may or may not be near and dear to your heart, but I get a lot of comments and questions about tax assessments. I thought it was appropriate today because if you live in Bucks County, then you probably within the last couple of days received your first tax bill for this tax year. The bill that just came out was the county township or county borough, whether you live in a township or borough. It's the smaller of the two taxes. Later in the year, the school tax will come out, which the school tax generally represents about 75 to 80% of the total property tax bill. So wanted to talk about tax appeals. There's a lot of, I think, confusion and misunderstanding. First, I want to say that it is a very easy process to file a tax appeal in Bucks County. The process starts with a form that you fill out and send to the county tax assessor's office. I always have a copy of that form, but it's available on the county tax assessor's website. And it basically just notifies the county of your intent to file a tax appeal. The question that a lot of people ask is, number one, how do you know if you have a valid or at least a reasonable chance of being successful in an appeal? Well, basically, what happens is you have an assessment, which is a number that generally doesn't make a lot of sense to anybody, but the state actually comes up every year with a value equalizer, and that number is actually determined and set by the State Tax Equalization Board. They call it a STEB value, S-T-E-B, and the value last year was 10.9. If you take the assessment and divide it by 0.109 based on last year's number, that number equates to the fair market value at which you're being taxed. And the question becomes, is the current fair market value of your property higher or lower than what that value is? And if it's lower, then theoretically you'd have at least a reasonable case for a tax appeal. And in terms of how to go about supporting your fair market value valuation, I can help with that. I mean, my recommendation generally is to hire an appraiser because that is usually thought of as almost irrefutable evidence of the value. So reach out to me if you want further clarification. The challenge is that we don't know at the right now what that STEB rate is going to be for the current tax year in which you can file an appeal. And last year, the state didn't actually issue that number until sometime in July. The hearings for the tax appeals actually start in August. So the question becomes, can you file it now? You can file the notice, as I said before, indicating your intent to appeal. It probably makes more sense if you're going to have an appraisal to wait until later in the season, because the comps that would be used will be more accurate, and usable the closer they are to the actual hearing date. So again, it's my recommendation that if you are going to file an appeal, that you can send a notice in right now, but I would wait probably until much closer to the hearing dates before actually getting the appraisal. So it's a very easy process. I've worked with a lot of people and sort of explaining, guiding them through the process. There's a couple of different options in terms of how you can go about doing it. You can do it on your own. You can go on your own, but with an actual appraisal. There's also attorneys that'll do it on a contingency basis. So all of those are viable options. And if you want further clarification, please feel free to call me at 215-519-1399 or email me at marty@martinmillner.com. Again, it's Marty Millner talking about real estate in Yardley, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Have a great day, everybody.